So one thing I want to talk about real quick. Well, actually, I think everyone who's here, we'll bring this up later. Let's start. Oh, intro question. I forgot to think of a good intro question. What is everyone's favorite book? Pretty. So my intentions and objectives for this meeting are just make sure we have a really good handle on where everything is at, get a thorough status update, hear a little bit, make sure people are up to date on tickets on the board, and have a great session. And my favorite book, gave myself the hardest question to answer. I think my favorite book is Cryptonomicon. And I will pass it to Paulo.
Thanks, Bradley. My intentions for this call is sync on with you guys, report my latest work on the EVM-crispr library, and see how are we doing with the hatch and when are we releasing. So my favorite book, I really like Think Fast, Think Slow. I think it's a book about, as the title says, the way we think and the way we make like conclusions or opinions, or the way we process information. It's a really interesting book. And like it really opens, it really makes you aware of the way like we behave and everything. So yeah, I'll pass it to Vitor.
Yeah, I like the Russian novels from the 19th century. Like, don't have one specific, but a lot of them. And I'll pass to Zaptimus.
Thanks, Vitor. Yeah, my favorite book is called Psicología del Éxito. I don't know the translation. It's a book that Sam recommended me, and it changed the way I think. So yeah, it was super cool. And I'll pass it to Griff.
I think my favorite, so my intentions are to, for sure, just checking on the hatch. I don't know if Sam already said that he wrote a letter, and I hope we can at least talk about that, the farewell letter, and I think that's it. I think those are my main drivers. And then no distractions, and favorite book is really tough, but I'll probably go with, I love behavioral economics books in general, like Predictably Irrational and some of Malcolm Gladwell stuff. But I really I'm going to go off the wall and go with the Tao Te Ching. It's super short, and if you check out chapter 57 of the Tao Te Ching, I'll post it in the Gardens channel. It's just so good. And I'll pass it to Pavel.
Thank you, Griff. My intentions are syncing, and my favorite book would be, I think at the moment, is Crime and Punishment. I had the opportunity to read it in Russian, so I really like it. And I'll pass it to Sam.
Hello, guys. It's tough to say which is my favorite book because, you have different books along your life. Some that I liked when I was younger might not represent me right now. So, but probably they are also books that I enjoyed some time ago. The most recent book that I think that is super cool is Sapiens, because it goes through the history of the humankind, and it was super nice to understand it from the perspective that the author is giving to it. It may be mainstream, but it's a good book. And intentions for the call, I guess that update with all the things that we are doing. And yeah, talk about the letter. It is not affecting really Commons Swarm. The only thing that it will be nice to talk about is about the future of Commons Swarm. Probably not this meeting, but at some point it looks like we have to rewrap what we have been doing and just say, yeah, this is what we have. Probably Common Swarm doesn't have any sense after the Commons upgrade, and I know that Griff wants to create a hacker group regarding the improvements of the Commons. I will not be there, but I think that it's a topic that we can talk maybe today, maybe in other moments. So, who is missing? Chui, which is your favorite book?
Thank you, Sam. Just quickly, intentions for today. Sync, gather some of the updates. Distractions, I'm very, very excited about ETCC, just that. And I think my favorite book is Sirens of Titan by Kurt Vonnegut. I don't know if any of you had the chance to dive into Kurt Vonnegut. He's like a sci-fi writer from the 50s, 60s. It's just impressive, and most of his approach is like a super dark comedy. So it's super enjoyable. I would highly recommend it to anyone. And personally, Sirens of Titan also has changed and impacted the way I like see life, and specifically like past and future in personal lives. So yeah, it's a book that excites me a lot. And I'll pass it to, I don't know if Paulo is missing.
I really went. I already went.
I think we got everyone. Yeah. Okay. Now let's move on. All right. Let's start with a update on the hatch. Did we get that? Is that started now?
No, not yet. Wednesday is the target day. I think we'll have the thing that could block it would be if YGG doesn't give us enough time. We're relying on YGG budgeting the time to finish the Praise-Mageddon distribution because it's not really very clearly defined. So we'll just have to nail that down and get approval, but that should be able to happen tomorrow. The hatch spec is up. Thank you, Sam. And I believe I gave a check to Tam today for the Commons Swarm, and I think Sam. So like we're not blocking it, but we are blocked by executing on it, and hopefully we'll be popping champagne in like 48 hours.
Gotcha. All right, awesome. Just wanted to start with that since that's kind of a key prerequisite for most of what we're doing here, what we're building our timeline around. So thanks, Griff. All right, it sounds like we should probably talk about this farewell letter first and then get into updates and things like that. So Sam, I'll turn it back over to you.
Well, actually, it's the letter is public. I don't think that it affects so much. It's like I am still here until we launch the Commons upgrade. It will not have any sense to leave without doing that. And yeah, the idea is that I will not be there after that. and I expose the reasons in the letter for those who wants to read it. I think that I don't know if you want to comment something, but for me it doesn't affect the work in Commons Swarm. We still have to finish it. Maybe other things that could affect Commons Swarm are the thing from one hive, I prefer to talk about the things that we still have to do. We have, but because the topic is already here, we have around. Let me check. PFS. About 20 honeys left, and we have, fortunately, we have Brett, who will be auditing the bonding curve. So that's amazing news. I think that the most important thing for me in regards of the letter and Commons Swarm one hive, because we asked for 2 fundings and we did not provide any kind of result from, until now. So one of the things that we have to focus in some way is to start to provide things to one hive in order to finish our proposals. So one of the things that well, we have to be doing many things in regards of that. Posting the models that we have been building, posting the hatch template, how to use it, posting the ABC and how to install it in a DAO. The EVM-crispr is going to be super cool for one hive, so we have to make sure that this is properly featured. These kind of things. For me, the most important thing right now in regards of Commons Swarm, the thing that I am more into is give back to one hive. I don't know if somebody would like to comment on that.
I wanted to call this issue just so that people had space to talk to you about the farewell letter, if there was any clarifications that they wanted to ask, or any if you guys had a chance to read the farewell letter, make some space. I have Sem upstairs, so we can talk whenever we want.
I wanted to add something. As some of you know, some months ago, just arriving to this amazing community and its people really has changed and shaped my life and how I see things. And I remember that one of the first persons that I talked to was Sam, and we had this hour-long call, and it was in English because we didn't know that we spoke Spanish, so it was really awkward in the end. And as soon as I started diving deeper into the community and researching, I started finding out about Sam's previous work, and I was like, oh my god, this guy is a genius. So that respect that I started to have back then has only growth ever since. And I just wanted to express my huge respect for you, Sam, and thanks for sharing this letter, for being open about how you think, and I really hope to keep being honored with collaborating with you in some way or another. yeah, so I just really wanted to take the time to mention this, and thank you, Sam. Thank you for being honest in your farewell letter.
Thank you, Chui. I also would like to add something. I am going to Paris, and we are going to have fun there. One thing doesn't remove the other. Okay, guys. I also would like to say that in this community, I also found a lot of very cool people. Even the people I have problems are cool. So this is not actually. We still have can have fun. So we will. Thank you, Chui.
Awesome. Thanks, Sam. You've clearly left a really large impact on this community, even though I don't fully understand it yet, since I'm new. All right. I have one issue that I want
just.
Yes.
No, I'd just like to thank you, Sam, as well. Like, learned a lot. If you even like the two not work a lot of time together, but yeah, like many thanks for all that you did for the community, and hope to keep in touch with you.
Guys, this is not a funeral. Come on, let's keep working on that. But thank you, Vitor. I mean, but let's keep working. We still have a lot of things to do. So, but thanks, guys. Whatever. Can we continue?
Yes. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. I have one quick question that I just want to hear from this group, actually. Last week in our call, there was one person in the call who didn't respond in intentions and objectives. And I spent a bit of time in some other Discords over the last year, and I'm a little bit cautious about people who are stealth on Discord. And I wonder, is there a requirement for these meetings to respond in intentions in order to, stay in the meeting? Like, what kind of guardrails the community has to protect itself, or if this is something we've ever thought about.
Sam, do you have permissions on the Discord to boot people?
Yeah, they have.
Oh, you do? Okay. So then we could ask Sam to boot someone if we don't feel comfortable. But
yeah,
in the end, we're doing it in one hive so that people can kind of drop in and they're paying us.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think it's a little mix.
A little mix. Okay. I just want to, cool. Just wondering where the level of security is here. That's all. Anyway, so I've learned the hard way that there are some malicious people on Discord. That's all. So, anyway, moving on to what everybody wants to talk about. So let's get some updates on what we covered last week and talk about where we need to go this week. Augmented bonding curve, that was great news. We've got an auditor locked in. Awesome. Are we totally ready to start that audit, or is there anything else we need?
I wouldn't say locked in. He needs to see the package, right? And he hasn't agreed to a price. So, we have a really good lead. So let's we can celebrate, but it's not over yet.
Got it. Okay. Is everything packaged up and ready to hand off to him? Any more changes needed?
Well, no, actually, the only change that is needed is a comment that is misleading. The rest of the things looks good. Actually, there is this change in the uIntent thing that I have been thinking it's not a good idea. There must be other ways to provide governance to people, because I will advise heavily not to put situations in which the bonding curve can break, because this negative virtual supply, if you just don't remember that you have this negative virtual supply, then the bonding curve is breaking. If the vesting is revoked, people can just start selling. And even if you are removing or creating tokens and then changing the virtual supply, I will just advise not changing that and finding other ways. So let's work on that this week. I think that if it really needed to for TEC to have these governance tokens, we might find a way with the voting aggregation. And if it's not needed at the end, I don't know which is the agreement with Praise Gamedon. If Praise Gamedon already covers I don't know. But if
I mean,
needed,
technically it won, so we sort of have to find a way to at least, I mean, it's kind of a Gantt chart issue, you know? We can't wait until post-hatch to find out if we need to have if the DAO votes for it, it's a DAO vote that could happen or will happen because the no intervention plus 75% tokens given back for governance it did win, and we're mitigating it somewhat. So how exactly the vote is structured might change a little bit. Like the amount that's being deducted is less for each person, but it's still like a vote. It's still a functionality that needs to be included into our commons deployment, but it doesn't have to be the int if we can find a better way.
I think the proper way is just creating a new token, because each token has its rights, and if you create a token that in some sets, in some ways it acts in some way, and ways it acts in some another way, it's not fungible. It's not the way that it complicates things a lot. So I will just say, hey guys, let's keep things simple and look for other options. And the voting aggregator is there for some reason. I just have to check the code. This week I can have the package and at least the idea if the voting aggregator can help in that issue or not.
Do we need to have another focus call on that topic? Or is this something that Sam's just going to decide?
Well, the package for the auditor, I think that I can just have it and send it to Griff when it's ready. I think that we don't need a focus call for that.
Okay, but I'm hearing things about.
What do you think, Griff?
Adding
I just send it to you. Yeah, the adding a token is regarding the adding a token part. We are not going to be. It is still unclear.
It would be part of
unclear how
it wouldn't need to be part of the bonding curve, so it wouldn't necessarily affect the audit.
Exactly, and it's more part of the gardens. Maybe Gardens is already prepared for that because Agave was thinking on something like that. So maybe that helps us a lot. Maybe not. And if not, then it's much more difficult. If not, we could still have some kind of external token into a Gardens. We could still have something like that, but I have no information at the moment. I was very busy with the hatch. And this week I am more free for exploring these things.
Sounds good. Let's move on to gardens. So last week we left it with one change needed from Paulo. How's that looking?
I'm not really sure what this means, but in Gardens, I've been working along with Pavel and Sam on the onboarding wizard. We're finishing the last screens, like the issuance and the conviction voting screens. I think Pavel is also almost finished the tokens app screen too. And we're hoping to have something ready for tomorrow. I'm not really sure, at least for the issuance screen, but for the conviction and the other screens, I think we can have it for tomorrow.
Paulo, it is referring to that issue in which we wanted to have the request token be wrap text type.
Oh,
The idea of that is, well, there were many sub-issues. One is to redeploy gardens. No, pardon. It is about to redeploy the subgraph
yeah.
and check out that the frontend doesn't break with the new change of the request token. That's it. We need to have gardens with the request token of wrapTextType, and then we can test the EVM-crispr in order to create a commons. The thing is that I just didn't remember it to you because you were so busy with the EVM-crispr, and I just was thinking, okay. But
Yeah.
this is something that we still have to do.
Yes, I don't think it will take that much time, so maybe I can take a look today or tomorrow before the Gardens meeting and see if I can redeploy the subgraph. I think it's really easy to do it.
Yeah, the subgraph, I don't think that it's going to be difficult. The part of the having a token that is not the garden token may cause some problems because of the stable price and this kind of things. If the idea is that if you are using as a request token a stable token, then you should not be able to create stable proposal requests. So there are other things that are changing. I think that I was writing about that in an issue somewhere. I just will send you how it should go. Sorry, I have the road. So yeah, this is, let's say that this is important in order to be able to test the common subgrade of gardens. We first need a garden.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you can send me that issue so I can start testing the front end and see if the stable token is giving us some problems. It will be great.
Okay. It will be great if we can. The thing is that I was talking with Bradley, with Griff, about having this TSC. If you remember, guys, in the last call, that was not a Commons Swarm call. We were talking about having this and also test the Commons subgrade on that. It was scheduled for, let's say, I think that it was this week. We have just had we were just fixing the hatch things from the review of Adria. So it is not, because the hatch is already ready for going. We can focus on this. What do you think, Pablo? Just to have a TEC garden and test the commons upgrade on it.
Yeah, I think we can try that. Anyway, I was when testing the commons upgrade script with the EVM-crispr, I was using some test gardens too. But I think.
So is it working?
I was actually going to talk about that on the topic later. So
Okay.
let's keep with the.
Yeah, should we just jump into migration tool update? Or should we jump over to CRISPR, EVM-crispr? Which one should we do next?
If you want to go, Pablo, if you want to go with EVM-crispr, I am curious.
Sure. Okay. So I was working this last week. Sam was also doing some some fixes on the library when he was doing the migration tool votation, the migration vote. I mean, I was also refactoring the library, removing hard hat dependencies that we're not using, and making everything prettier. So regarding the commons upgrade script, I'm having some problems because apparently the market maker contract, the base contract that is uploaded is the previous one. I mean, I think, Sam, you did some changes on the ABC contract, removing the controller and all these things, but I think you didn't publish it. So right now I'm getting the old contract, so which has the controller parameter. So the only thing I think I need is to.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, the only thing that I need is to have that contract updated on Aragon PM, and I think I can start making testing boats to see how everything is, how all the apps are being installed, and if all the permissions that are being created are correct or not. So yeah. So I just need that.
I think that I have a lot of luck. I'm sorry. It is published in Rinkeby under Commons bonding curve something. It was in the document that we were sharing regarding TEC Garden, and it is also going to be available in the package I will do for Brett. So in that package I will accompany the EVM script, not the EVM script, but the EVM scripter script that you need in order to install a bonding curve into a DAO. So
yeah, that will be nice.
That it should be enough. Yeah.
So yeah, I think with this change, I think we are almost ready to have working Commons upgrade script. So yeah, in the meantime, I'll be focusing on documenting everything and making the code prettier even. So yeah.
Awesome. Documentation is super important, and I don't know about anyone else, but I love pretty code. So easy to read. Let's check in on migration tool. Sam, do you have?
Yeah, regarding that, I have some updates. I have it working. Well, let's say that I have the EVM script for the change that we need in the... Let's recap a little bit. The migration tools have this new feature in which it prevents people from creating votes in case that all the tokens have not been claimed in the new DAO or 1 week has passed. This was added this last week in order to have preventive programming, just in case we have some error in some place. We still want to be able to recover the control of the DAO after 1 week and try to fix it if something breaks. It should not be needed, but it's there anyway. And in order to install this, I modified the EVM-crispr in order to have this tool to add an oracle in a permission. So the idea is to add an oracle to the create vote permission. And I have it working. The only thing that I could not test if it actually works, because I wanted to introduce it into the latest hatch, but it was like, what happens if it breaks? Let's hatch it and not try it yet. So it's something that has to be tested. We cannot mark it as done since it's not tested.
All right. So do we need to do that?
And this can be this can be included in what Paulo was saying of the Commons upgrade script. We can add it because it's already, the code is already done. So once we test the in the meantime we test it, we just add this part, and if we cannot create votes, that's bad.
Okay. So what do we need to add testing for this specifically to our plan of attack for the week, or
Well, it cannot. Yeah, let's add it into the EVM scripter, not the EVM scripter, into the EVM script for the commons upgrade, and let's see if it does what it has to do. That's what I will say.
okay. Sounds good. All right. Last week when we talked, TEC Convert was functionally complete. Is there any change to that at all? Okay, I don't expect
No,
there
I
to
don't
be.
think that we. The only thing is that stats page.
Yeah.
That is not critical for the
Yeah.
for the commons upgrade, and I will advise just focus on the config dashboard. But I don't know, Vitor, do you have anything?
No, yeah, I'm focusing more on the config dashboard.
Okay. So I did. Marko shared with me some draft designs for that stats page. And I think that might be the best place for me to get started actually doing some work with this group. So I think I'll pick up on some of those designs, either working with Marko on the designs or just doing some designing myself. And then as we get past some of the really core contract-oriented work that we're finishing now, as we move closer to the goal, we can start working on that stats page. So that'll be my focus as far as design and code goes moving forward.
Okay, in the meantime, well, if we don't have so much to do, I don't know if you want to share with us the things of Marko. And I also would like to share the EVM script working.
You want to share the EVM script in a link or on a future conversation?
Right now, like a demo, but
You dropped out.
let's finish. If we have something from Marco, it would also. We have still 15 minutes. Maybe showing some work would be nice. And I also love to see Marco's work. So
Yeah.
where did you drop out?
Before we have the demo, I have one small issue that's critical to Hatch. We need to update the legal terms. There's just honestly, I wish I could find out. I was actually looking to see if I could just do it myself during this call, but I'm not cool enough. So I made an issue. It's 115 in the TEC Hatch and has a link to the PDF. Does anyone want to take that on to update the PDF in the Hatch?
Is it? But do we have a link in the Hatch that points to legal terms?
Don't they have to sign a checkbox? They have to make a checkbox. It's like, I agree to these terms.
Never.
No?
No, at all. Never.
No.
We never have had it.
Really?
Yeah. Which terms?
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, well, I have the terms. Is it possible to make a checkbox for the Hatch that they have to check before they can send money in?
Yes, it is possible.
Someone want to take that on? Or who would like to take that on?
Actually, it is possible in the it is possible in the front end, but this is bad because it is in the front end.
Of course.
Right?
No, it's only in the front
is,
end. That's okay. That's okay. It's okay. The people can go through
because
smart contracts and do it, but it's okay. We're doing our best.
Okay.
I guess I would nominate Paulo or Vitor to take on this issue.
I mean, if no one wants to do it, I can do it.
Yeah, I can do this as well.
Okay, then Peter, go ahead.
Yeah, Vitor, you'd be down?
Yeah.
I'll send you a link to the issue which has the terms in it.
Okay.
All right. One last update before we get into the EVM scripter demo. Config dashboard. How are things looking for config dash?
Great.
Well, we have the stock graph. Sorry. No, I was just saying that Marko built a prototype, and then you have the specs right now, and then I'm building a like deployed version that where you can still like play with the inputs and outputs, so things are going well.
Nice. Any work that we need to plan for it this week?
Yeah, like we have 4 modeling sections, and I'm working 2 of them, and 2 are open. Like if anyone want to get there, the issues are well like described, like which inputs need to be done, which outputs, which charts. So let's just go there and grab the 2 issues.
Okay. Sounds good. Excellent. So is the open work all front end work? No.
Python work, right?
Python. Okay.
Yeah. But we still need to develop the front end as well, and I have the first deployed version, but we need to wait for like the final design to finish it.
Yeah, we're going to do a lot of user testing on the design, and including maybe a small little web app to do user testing, user validation on the basics, to be like, does token freeze make sense to people? or like, is it how about this? We have a very experimental way to explain bonding curves. You know, like I don't know. We'll see how that flies.
Okay, that makes sense. Awesome, that's exciting. All right, 10 minutes left. I personally do have to leave promptly at noon, at the end of the hour. But sounds like Sem wants to demo the EVM upgrade. I think I'll just say right now, I'll show Marko's sketches for the stats page next week on our call.
Okay, great. Actually, I don't know if Paulo has some more info. I just wanted to share the EVM script for the installing an empty DAO with migration tools and setting up migration tools with a vault. It was what we needed in order to have a new DAO and test the hatch. So it was super nice to check. I already shared it in the Telegram group. I am sharing screen, right? Oh my god, my internet is so broken. Also, Paulo had some. Paulo and me were sharing some old scripts made by OneHive that was super awful in order to install a new conviction voting and make agape payments. It was super awful, and hopefully it can be much easier with EVM script. I don't know if you want to share those also, Paulo.
I wanted to show actually the Commons upgrade script that I have right now.
Yeah.
So please. Maybe you guys can see like the code. So give me a second. Okay. So basically, what we have here is the idea is before doing anything on a Gardens, you need to sign an agreement. So we do that here, and we actually use the EVM-crispr to get some parameters that we need to make the Commons upgrade. For example, the Bancor formula contract address. So we use the library to do that as well. So this is right now the intent that we're going to encapsulate on a vote. So as you can see here, we're installing an agent that we're calling a new agent. Then we're styling the marketplace Bancor market maker. This is the one that is giving me problems right now because I'm trying to pass it 6 parameters, but the contract is expecting 7 because it's the old contract. So yeah,
it's Commons Bancor market maker.
The Commons Bancor market maker isn't on the subgraph neither. So I didn't find it.
Okay, and you are using Timecodes, right?
Maybe we can see it together later. But yeah, then I'm installing migration tools for the Gardens to make the migration. And here, as you can see, I just need to specify the apps that I want to pass to these that the migration tools need. So I just say agent, and it returns the address of this app. And so on. Later, I set the permissions right here. You can see I gave the permissions to the disputable voting over the open trading role, and for example, the add collateral token role and that. and we give permissions to anyone to make buy orders or sell orders. And yeah, and this piece of code basically sets the permission for the ABC, and then we right next to it we revoke the permissions to the issuance from the issuance. I mean, to completely like deactivate it, and then we add the collateral token here at the end. So this is the whole script that we're doing. I was thinking maybe it will be also nice to create the gardens on this script too, so we don't need to create the gardens manually or anyway, and then execute the script. Just need to. The idea is to execute one script that do everything for you, and yeah. But this is the main idea. Like Sam was talking about previously, the idea is also to take some of the OneHive votes that have been made on the past month regarding, I don't know, for example, the vote for Agave or the vote for conviction voting, and do the same but with the EVM-crispr, so people can see, oh, it's a lot simpler or easier with this library. But the main use test case will be the commons upgrade. So once we have this, I think we can publish the first version of the library once we have this working. And yeah, I don't know if you want to say something, Sam, or do you want me to show something else?
I think that it's sufficient as an example. Totally. I don't think that. Maybe we can show the other votes that were previously done in OneHive to show the contrast. If you have them, and if not, I can grab them.
I don't have it right now here.
It is basically in the Discord with Gabi. But I can also share the screen if you want.
Give me a second. Maybe I can show one of the votes. I think here we have one. 1 second.
I mean, I will not recommend create a vote without the EVM-crispr at the moment.
I can show this example. The Agave vote, I think, the payment vote. So this is one of the use cases for our library, as you can see here. This is a script for the payment for Agave, Sam? I'm not sure.
Yes, and as you can see, you have to put the addresses hard-coded into the code, and then do some weird stuff later with the encode call script and encode script call. I don't know, encode call script and encode act call.
Yeah.
All the time, constructing your. It was very difficult. I mean, in order to do this, people had a very bad time, and they had to ask the people who could do it. But it's not it's a no-go for most of the DAOs. So it's much more clear now.
Yeah, this whole piece of code, the library does it for you. The call scripts and the act calls. So I think these are pretty good examples to show people the advantages of using the library. So yeah.
So I think we are already in the top of the hour. Nice to see you, Dosh, by the way. And Solar MKD.
Yeah, and yeah, good to see you guys. And thank you all for coming. Bradley had to pop off, but thank you guys for coming. We have the hatch on Wednesday, assuming everything works out right. Vitor, you're the last thing that we have to do. So keep me updated on the progress as soon as you have the little checkbox for the legal terms, and we're done. We did it. We'll be popping champagne. Zeptimus, Sam, and Chewy, you'll all be here with me when we're hatching that, so it'll be a party.
I want to be there.
We'll miss you, Paulo. We'll miss you. But cool. Well, thank you guys. See you next week.
Bye, everyone.